I know a little bit about the CIA because as a Marine pilot, I was recruited by them to fly trucks.
I'm Millie Weaver, and we are going to be speaking with Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Now, I had the opportunity to sit down and do an interview with Robert Kiyosaki at the Red Pill Expo in Montana, and Robert said something that stunned many people. Well, he said that he had actually been offered to be recruited by the CIA to run drugs. Now, everybody is wondering what exactly happened, Robert. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, thanks, Millie, for giving me a chance to clear that up. First of all, in 1973, I was a Marine lieutenant. I was a pilot flying helicopter gunships in Vietnam, and I was about to rotate home. And an organization called the Air America approached me and wanted to know if I would fly for them. And the offer was pretty good. I believe that was a long time ago, but it was $85,000 a year, which was a lot of money back then for a 25-year-old kid. And I didn't know what Air America was. And then I just got the nod, nod, wink, wink that you could make a lot more money if you ran special packages. And I didn't know what they were talking about. And my friends were, just hitting me saying, "You idiot, don't you know what they're talking about?" And I said, "No, I don't." And later on, I discovered it was to run intoxicants out of Laos and the Golden Triangle out there. And I don't do drugs. I've tried marijuana and I've tried cocaine, but I don't do drugs. And I don't care how much money I make, I won't run drugs. So I'm glad I didn't take up the offer. And Air America denies that ever happened. But if you trust our government, of course you believe them. But as you know, back in 1985, the Iran-Contra blew up, and it was the arms and drugs to finance covert operations in Iran and Nicaragua. So that's my story. I never ran drugs, and I'm glad I didn't. And I went on to become an entrepreneur when I returned from Vietnam in 1973.
Well, it's very noble of you to have turned that down. And the scary part is that a lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people would take the money and they would go do the drug trafficking or running drugs for the CIA. But it just speaks to the fact that there is so much corruption that's going on inside our government, especially inside the intelligence agencies with little oversight. Now, I noticed that that's what you were kind of getting at, but have you ever heard of or experienced anything inside with the corruption in the government?
Well, not really, but if you've watched the news, which you guys do a great job covering, is there was Iran-Contra in 1985. There was Fast and Furious. I mean, they killed our own guys. They sent guns to Mexico to kill our own people. I mean, why did that? I don't understand that. And then you had the $150 billion Obama sent to Iran, and Iran is one of the biggest exporter of terrorism, but nobody asked this question. Where did that $150 billion come from? And I interviewed the banker who gave Obama the money. It came out of Switzerland. So the question is, there's so many things that you and I do not know about, and it's really disappointing. I went to war for the U.S. Marine Corps thinking we were the red, white, and blue, but then I don't even trust my own government at times. And you saw what happened at the Red Pill in Montana. I mean, the press showed up, and they called us a bunch of white supremacists. I'm not even white.
I know. That was so ridiculous. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Do they not see? I mean, if they took the time to actually come in and see the wide variety of people from different walks of life, people of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, people from different countries, they would know that that's just complete lies. But, we've seen stuff coming out now in the mainstream media, even the controversies with CNN and the James O'Keefe interviews. So it's really no surprise when we're seeing those types of things. But, Robert, it's pretty amazing. Nobody would actually think that an author, a well-known author such as yourself, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that you would have actually had these stories and these experiences.
Well, I ran into the CIA twice, and any adult knows that CIA stands for Capitalism's Invisible Army. Or there was a song that went, "Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. And that's how we get things done. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because I don't want to get into that stupid discussion. But when people naively, the red pill was about seeing the truth. That's all it was. And there was 600 very educated people there. Of course, most were white, but they really were disturbed and upset. Stories of people are shot by our own government. So what the heck is going on? That is the question. And that's why I commend you guys for just kind of keeping them honest. But when they called me a white supremacist and an anarchist, and I'm going, what the heck's wrong with you guys? Don't you know that we're just concerned citizens, and we're not the deplorables that Hillary thinks we are? And I serve my country, and she serves the country in different ways. So did Obama.
Well, so have you had any other run-ins with the CIA or any intelligence agencies other than the event that you just told us about?
No, when I was 19 years old, I first ran into the CIA in Thailand. And I didn't know who they were. They were just guys who were about 30 years old. And I was a 19-year-old kid. I was a midshipman from the academy, really naive. And then this older gentleman who was on the ship with me said, idiot, don't you know the CIA when you see them? And I went, no, I don't even know what they are. So again, this capitalism's invisible army. And he said, what's the CIA doing in Thailand in 66? He says, they're starting a war. And being such a dummy, I said, well, how do you start a war? And he says, what do you think our ship's carrying? And our ship was carrying 500, 750, and 1,000-pound bombs to be stored in Thailand for the start of the war. And that was kind of my start. And I said, I want nothing to do with this. I kind of stayed clear. I got out of the Marine Corps and had other challenges, but I don't do drugs, and I don't want to take on the U.S. government.
Yes, that's very understandable. Well, you keep saying that it's capitalism's invisible army, but you were talking about how you are pro-capitalism. Isn't that correct?
Legal pro-capitalism, legal, like as you and I were talking at the Red Pill Expo, I mean, they attacked Trump for seeing covfefe or something on his tweet, and I don't agree with what he says, or tweets. But the guy goes to Europe and tells NATO to pay our bills. And he goes to talk to Saudi Arabia and says, take on Qatar. I mean, the guy is doing work. Unfortunately, when he tweets, he shoots himself in his own foot. This is my opinion. But I love the guy. I support him. And I wish he wouldn't tweet stupid things.
Well, how did you first get to know President Trump? I'm sure everybody's dying to know.
Well, before the real estate crash around 2004, 2005, he and I used to speak at these mega events, like we did at the Javits Center in New York and the Moscone Center in San Francisco. And he and I have traveled as far as Australia and all this to speak to people about financial education. So I know Donald Trump as a financial educator. And that's how I know him. So we joined forces to write 2 books, because I always ask the question, what does school teach you about money? And the answer is nothing. Is that a mistake? I don't think so. And so that's why he and I became very good friends. His sons and I are much better friends. They're great young men. I have tremendous respect for the guy, except when he tweets stupid things, because it makes it harder for him to get his job done. That's my point of view. And I support him. I love him dearly.
Do you think that he has honest intentions in trying to do the best he can for America?
I know that. I know that. He is really shaking up this elite, the college elite, the guys that went to Harvard, Stanford, University of Chicago, and all this, and they think they're better than everybody else. Most of them are, they're just professional managers who think they're smarter than everybody else. And we all have to deal with them.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and telling us your story, Robert. It takes a lot of courage. Thank you.
And thank you for covering what you guys do and keep people honest. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. The country needs you.
This is Millie Weaver signing off for the Infowars Nightly News.
Emmerich Essentials, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com. There's nothing like having fun in the sun while getting the very best organic SPF 30 non-nano zinc oxide sunscreen that's healthy and doesn't have any toxic effects, unlike so many other brands. Again, that's SPF 30, all natural, non-nano zinc, available at Emmerich's Essentials at InfoWarsLife.com. Talk about a 360 win. Get the highest quality, non-nano zinc oxide sunscreen at SPF 30 at InfoWarsLife.com from Emmerich's Essentials and fund the very tip of the spear in the fight against the New World Order. Because it's high quality, healthy, organic products, like the sunscreen that's non-nano zinc, so it's very good for your skin and your body. Protect your skin while you fund an operation to crush tyranny and the globalists worldwide. Most sunscreens are toxic, using aluminum and other metals. Better, healthier sunscreens use zinc oxide. The problem is many are nano and go through the skin and can be toxic. Not Emmerich's Essentials. It is of the highest lab standards. But it also funds the InfoWar and the fight against the globalists. InfoWars never had so much fun shooting a commercial on Lake Travis in Austin. There's nothing like having fun in the sun while getting the very best sunscreen. So protect your skin while you protect liberty and promote the InfoWar, a total win-win. Emmerich's Essentials, exclusively available at InfoWarsLife.com.